Welcome to Time of Death. This video is for informational purposes and in no way meant to glorify or condone violence. In today's video, we'll be discussing the murder of Devon Harris. Harris died on June 17, 2007 after being shot at 114th Street and South Central Avenues in Green Meadows, according to LA County coroner records. Derek Washington was subsequently arrested and charged with the murder. The following is the evidence at trial. On the afternoon of the shooting, Ishanette Jones and several friends attended graduation ceremonies at Centennial High School where she was a student. Leaving the campus, one of Ishanette's friends, Don Shea, became embroiled in an argument with two other girls, Angela Washington, the defendant's 17-year-old sister, and Angela's friend, Lakeisha. Angela challenged Don Shea to a fight in the middle of Central Avenue. Ishanette and her friends walked to a nearby bus stop at El Segundo Boulevard and Central Avenue to wait for the bus, intending to return to the Nickerson Gardens area. A group of 9 or 10 male teenagers joined them at the bus stop. Several members of the group were affiliated with the bounty hunters from Nickerson Gardens. Devon Harris, known as Poo Poo, was with the group, but he had no gang affiliation. At the Golden Bird restaurant across the street from the bus stop was a group of boys from Westside Piru. Ishanette and others at the bus stop took the bus to Central and 114th Street, where they exited and walked on 114th Street toward Nickerson Gardens. Most of the boys walked ahead, while the girls and some boys, including Devon Harris, walked behind. As she was walking, Ishanette saw a Tahoe, which she had seen earlier at the Golden Bird restaurant, come to a screeching halt on 114th Street. She saw a defendant whom she knew as Deuce from seeing him on prior occasions at Centennial High School, seated in the front passenger seat. Defendant pointed a gun at Ishanette's group and fired 8 or 9 shots. Devon Harris was struck by a single bullet in the head and died. On June 20th, 2007, 6 days after the killing, LAPD detectives John Skaggs and Nathan Curry arrested defendant and his sister Angela at their grandmother's house and transported them to the police station. Angela heard that defendant had killed Devon Harris, whom she knew as Poo Poo. Later, Angela was sitting in a car with some friends when defendant arrived. He told them that he had killed Harris. He said that he and Jason Keaton had followed the bus and watched as the people got off. The people from the bus were walking in an alley toward Nickerson Gardens. Keaton and defendant drove down the alley, and defendant believed he was recognized. They left the alley and came back, driving down the alley slowly, playing the radio in the Tahoe loud. Devon Harris walked toward the car. Some of the others had their hands on their waistband as if armed with guns. Believing he was about to be shot, defendant fired first, trying to hit Mike and another bounty hunter gang member known as 211. But Mike ducked and Harris was shot. Defendant said that he had shot the wrong boy. Defendant Derek Washington saw the group get off the bus, and his friend drove down the alley playing the radio loud. The group looked at the car and recognized defendant because he attended school with all of them. They were holding their belt buckles, hands in their shirts, as was another group behind them. Defendant thought that he had to shoot this one out because he was either them or us. Defendant didn't say anything and just reacted. He had his gun on his lap, he cocked it and put in the clip. Devon Harris, with whom defendant had played basketball, walked toward the car. Defendant began firing and saw Harris fall about 6 feet away. The crowd scattered and hid. Some continued to come toward the car, which defendant believed meant they had guns. Defendant emptied his full clip of 18 to 21 rounds. Defendant couldn't believe what he had done. According to Detective Kenneth Bonner of the Compton Unified School Police Department, in a January 2006 encounter, he asked defendant what gang he was from. Defendant said that he was from Westside Piru and his moniker was YG Tiny. Similarly, Detective Curry testified that in small talk after defendant's interrogation, defendant admitted that he was a member of Westside Piru. Detective Curry also testified that each year, around the time of the Centennial High School graduation, members of the Bounty Hunters and Westside Piru meet at Enterprise Park to fight. Following the trial, the jury convicted Derek Washington of first-degree murder and found true the gun and gang allegations. The court sentenced him to a term of 50 years to life in state prison. Devon Harris was 15 years old at the time of death.